Welcome back, homies. This is Doug, and today I want to talk about the Dominaria United stream preview that Wizards of the Coast had for this Thursday that just passed. I'm a little bit late to the party, but I want to give my thoughts on the cards. I'm only going to be talking about the Storm promos, some of the cards, or mostly many of the cards of the Pioneer and Standard. So they're like for Commander or Modern. I'm not going to talk about them. I don't really play Commander. I play casually, and I don't really play Modern because I only like to keep track of the three: Commander, Standard, Pioneer, mainly Standard. But with that being said, let's talk about the Store Championship promos. For participating, entering, you get Spell Pierce. For blue, instant counter target non-creature spell unless controller pays 2. Early spell, really great counter. If you top 8, you get a Gilded Goose. For forest, creature bird, flying, Gilded Goose enters the battlefield, create a food token. Pay 1 forest, tap it, create a food token, and then you can tap it, sacrifice a food token, add 1 mana of any color. This is literally just a land or else with extra steps. Although in Jund or Rakdos Sacrifice, not Rakdos Sacrifice, Jund or what do you call it, Golgari Sack, it's really good, you know? But on top of that, you also get a Store Championship promo of Omnath, Locus of Creation. It is a mountain, forest, plains, island, legendary creature elemental. You can read that on your own. He is a 4/4. My boy has been hitting the gym. Look at those biceps, dude. My goodness, that guy has been like lifting since he's been banned. But really great card. I love it. I want to get this card. If you didn't have an incentive to win, you should now. It is not a high print because, you know, not a lot of people can win the Store Championships. So if you do win it, congrats. If you don't, maybe next time. But let's get on to the cards, shall we? Temporal Firestorm. For a 3 mountain, you get a sorcery. Kicker 1 and a plains and or 1 and an island. Choose up to X creatures and or planeswalkers you control, where X is the number of times this spell was kicked. Those permanents phase out. Temporal Firestorm deals 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. There is a lot of board wipes right now in Standard. I mean, there's going to be some leaving because of the rotation, but I don't think this card is going to see a lot of play. In Limited, I see it's good. In Standard, there are better cards. In Pioneer, this is just outclassed. Like, not like it's garbage in Pioneer. You can do so much better with Burn the House and pay a lot less with March of the Swirling Mist. Although you use 2 cards, you're gonna need a lot of mana. As you can see, it's 5 already at the entry cost, and then you have to pay an extra 2 for each creature and or planeswalker. So obviously you're not going to want to save your whole board of tokens, but if you have like 2 legendary creatures that are, you know, different creatures that are legendary and a planeswalker, you're going to end up paying 1 2 3 4 5 6 on top of the 5. That's 11 mana. So it's a sorcery as well, so it's not even instant. So in my opinion, in Limited, I say this is a 7 out of 10. In Standard, I would say a 6 out of 10. In Pioneer, I would give it like a 4 out of 10. Better board wipes, better protection, in my opinion. Up next, we got Evolved Sleeper. For a swamp, you get a creature human 1/1. You can pay 1 swamp. Evolved Sleeper becomes a human cleric with a base power toughness 2/2. 1 and a swamp. Evolved Sleeper is a cleric. Put a death touch counter on it and it becomes a Phyrexian human cleric with a base power and toughness 3/3. A swamp mountain. If Evolved Sleeper is a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card, and you lose 1 life. In Limited, I would say this is an 8 out of 10. In Standard and Pioneer, I'm going to give this Standard 6. In Pioneer, I'm going to give it a 4. For 1 mana, 1/1, that you have to pay an extra mana and make it a 2/2. And that's all it does, other than, you know, becoming a cleric. It doesn't come in as a cleric paying the 2 mana, so it doesn't get any entering the battlefield effects for like Resplendent Angel or so on and so forth. You also have to then pay another 2 more mana to make it a Death Touch human cleric Phyrexian, making it a 3/3. If you pay another 3 more mana, you get a +1/+1 counter on it, so it becomes a 4/4. You draw a card, lose the life. All in all, you're paying 7 mana for a Death Touch human cleric Phyrexian with a 4/4 at the end of the turn to draw 1 card, losing life. It's not worth it. I think it's fodder. In Limited, it's really good, but in Standard and Pioneer, going forward, this is not going to be that good of a card. For right now, this is what I rate it as. It could improve. We don't know what the rest of the set is, but I don't think this card is good in my opinion. Land and War Lone Speaker. Colorless in a forest. Creature of Druid coming in at 1/3. Tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Tap it, target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. It's still a land, activate only a sorcery. I think he is pretty decent. In Standard, Limited, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It taps, You can also like later in the game tap it to make a land, come in and haste, attack. It doesn't pair with the land, so if the land leaves, gets destroyed, removed, you can target another land the next turn, or if you untap them. With that being said, in standard, I'm gonna give them a 6. I feel like there's still some better ramp cards that can create treasures. In Pioneer, this is just gonna get destroyed easily or just gonna get ignored. I mean, you end up making a 3/3, but like there's so much better removal. Like Fatal Push it, the land, and then get rid of him and everything else you have. So in Pioneer, I would give this a 4 out of 10. In Standard, I would give this a 5 out of 10. Yeah, later in the game he does make you a 3/3, but he's 2 to come in. He adds 1 mana of any color for 1/3. I don't think he's that good. I mean, we'll see if we get other ramp creatures, mana dorks. But at the current moment, for 2 1/3 tap, I would give it a 5. In limited, I would give it an 8. Perfect body to like to block for 3 toughness. Helps you, mana dork. And then it also later in the game, if you have what you need to pay, it just helps you give an extra body on board. With that being said, Jaya, Fiery Negotiator, 2 Mountain. You get a Jaya Planeswalker with a 4 loyalty, +1. Create a 1/1 red monk, creature token with prowess. -1, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. -2, choose target creature an opponent controls. Whenever you attack this turn, Jaya Fiery Negotiator deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy it twice. You may choose new targets for copies. I think she's going to be used in a lot of mono red burn decks because as a +1, you get a blocker, a chump blocker. If you do not, if they do not get rid of it, if you keep it for the next turn, it is a monk with prowess. Now, red has a lot of cards at the moment that deal a lot of damage to creatures, but not a lot of damage to the opponent. Strangle being the main card right now. You can strangle an opponent's creature, +1 your monk until end of turn. So it literally helps in a way burn your opponent. You can -1 exile the top 2 cards, choose one, play it. So if you're like, hey, I got like 2 lands in hand, I need a -1. Hey, it helps your prowess token. Perfect. Or if you're like, you know what, I don't want to use any resources from my hand, let me dig at the top 2. It's just so good for a -1. -2 is something what I would consider for a tokens deck like Jetmir. If your opponent has a 5/5 beat stick and you don't want to get rid of any of your opponents, any of your creatures to your opponents like chump blocker or blocker in general, -2, swing all 5, 6, or 7, deal that damage to that one creature, equal to the number of attacking creatures to that one creature, and it will get rid of it. So it's like, instead of making my 5 dudes attack and you have to trade 1, I'm gonna attack with my 5 dudes, get rid of 1, and then make you do some like bad trades because I already got rid of your powerhouse. For -8 is once again really good in the Spellslinger decks. Whenever you cast red instant or sorcery spell, copy it twice. You do have to pay the mana for it, but in Spellslinger you have a lot of low cost spells. Main one being Strangle. You copy it twice. You pay 3 mana, deal 9 damage, or you can pay 1 mana, deal 6, pay 2 mana, deal 6 to that one, 3 to that one. You know what I'm saying? Like split it all at once. It's really good. I think she's going to be a 10 out of 10 in limited. She's going to be a 8 out of 10 in standard. And I'm going to give her like a 6 out of 10 in Pioneer. I think people can use her, especially in like Izzet or third color. And the fact that you literally prowess creature, or you can like copy your spells twice, I think is just really great for her. So I think I said 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for Pioneer, 8 out of 10 for Standard, 10 out of 10 for Limited. Shivan Devastator, X and a Mountain. Creature Dragon Hydra. Flying Haste. Shivan Devastator enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and it is a 0/0 creature. This right here is one of my favorite cards. I love red. Red is my favorite color in the game because it is so aggressive. You come in with flying and haste. So haste, no matter what, you're already going to start attacking. You don't have trample, so if they do jump block, it does suck. But hey, you can make it as big as you want. This is the opposite of Hydroid Craces, where Hydroid Craces would come in, you gain life, you draw X cards, rounded down to the X cost. Shivan just says, you know what, I'm gonna just attack you for what you pay. It does enter with X +1/+1 counters on it. For standard, I think this is really good because you can go like later on in the game, pair red with other colors, so you can like support it, control it, help it stay alive. But pretty much just later in the game, you go X5, swing a U5 in the face. If we're top decking and I top deck this and you have no responses, it pretty much sets up the game. Like, you have to answer it because I'm gonna just dump all my mana to it if you have no cards in hand or if you have no creatures that I know for a fact it's just gonna push through. In limited, I would say it is a 10 out of 10. In standard, I would give it a 9 out of 10, but that's because I'm biased towards red. I love red. In Pioneer, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 because there is so much cheap removal. You got Fatal Push, already takes care of it in the beginning. Terminate, you got Fatal Push, Terminate, and there's so many like plethora of removals that can just get rid of this. You also can get, Hydro Crisis on Pioneer that can kind of in a way counter this, because you gain their life, you draw the card, and you still get an XX creature. But on top of that, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It's really good, but it just needed a little bit more. Like Trample would have made it playable in Pioneer. But that's just me. I give it a 4 out of 10. Standard 9 out of 10, and then limited 10 out of 10. What I am excited to see in this upcoming set is a Johnny. Now, not this a Johnny because it's like it has already been printed. I don't want to see a reprint. I want to see a new a Johnny. I want to see something that can like make the game change, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a Johnny this whole time since I think it was World of Spark or 21, Course of 21. He has literally been like in the story for Magic the Gathering. He's been like in the sidelines telling people what to do, how to do it, so on and so forth. In Streets of New Capenna, he told Elspeth, hey, go to this plane. This is your home plane, where you came from, your roots. But now we're finally seeing some picture with him in it. I want to see a card. I want to see what he does. Give me all the cats for Jetmir. Let's go, bros. Let's go. But yeah, this is what I think about the new cards. I'm going to be doing, hopefully daily videos. If not just cards that like piqued my interest or that I think are going to be good for Standard and Pioneer. For limited, not my forte. So if I say 10 out of 10, just know that I suck at limited. So take that with what you will. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, click that like button below. Don't forget to share it to the rest of the world. Just paste the link, even if it's like you glue it on a piece of paper. Just do it. But hope you guys have a nice day. Enjoy the rest of your week.